Hey, everybody. Remember, if you're a fan of the Tennessee Volunteers or just sports in general, please like, comment, and subscribe. Any and all support's greatly appreciated. Now, let's get to the video. Hey, guys. How's it going? Josh here. Hope everybody's having a great start to the week. It's a little chilly here in East Tennessee, expecting some snow later on in the week. So we're well into the winter by now, I would say. But even though we're in the winter time and college football slowly coming to a close, we have no shortage of things that are going on currently in the sport, especially for our Tennessee Volunteers. This may come as a shock to some, but probably not many. I said this a while back. It looks as though Lane Kiffin has landed his man in Sam Leavitt. Over the course of the last week and a half, this has been a hotly contested recruitment, right? For some of you who may not know, to give a recap, Leavitt enters the portal. Leavitt visits with LSU while Sam Leavitt, he started at Kentucky. Who knows how that visit went because it never came up again, which I'm not exactly shocked. It is Kentucky after all. He then went to LSU, was spotted courtside with Lane Kiffin. Weeks, whatever his name is, the linebacker that dates Lane Kiffin's daughter. Again, very weird dynamic there. And during the course of that visit is when the Desmond Williams quarterback drama unfolded from Washington. So again, as a recap of that, essentially what happened, Desmond Williams enters the portal, do not contact tag, which typically indicates they already know where they're going to go. It's pretty much known that Lane Kiffin wanted Desmond Williams to come to LSU. So Sam Leavitt had his ego bruised pretty seriously by that. Shortly thereafter, he flies up to Knoxville, Tennessee, visits with the staff, stays a couple of days, goes under medical examination, and they enter into contract conversations. Well, as that trip comes to an end, Sam Leavitt's getting ready to fly down to Miami and visit the Hurricanes, but Lane Kiffin flies up to Knoxville, make sure to troll us Tennessee fans, and he says, hey, Sam, here's this big, gigantic offer from LSU. Come down and live in a swamp and play football in Death Valley, whatever the appeal of that may be. So Sam Leavitt goes ahead and goes to Miami. And from there, it came out, hey, all reports trending towards he's committed to LSU. Then today, we get some news from Tennessee fans or from Tennessee reporters that Tennessee's going to lodge one final offer. They do so. It ends up not being enough. Now, why is this important? Today, we find out Joey Aguilar's case likely won't be decided for another couple of months. So we're kind of in a predicament there, right? So right now, you've got two scholarship quarterbacks on the roster, which is a serious lack of depth. It puts you at risk. You'd love to have three bodies in there as we enter into the springtime and prepare for the upcoming season. Whether you like it or not, this is going to be a really major make or break season for Josh Heupel, and I think he understands that. The interpretation of how people feel today, or at least from what I've been able to gauge, is people really feel like Heupel botched the quarterback portal period. And I'm not going to disagree. However, what I am going to say is the money that was rumored for Sam Leavitt, $6.5 to $7 million, I've been saying this all along. That is money that we absolutely need for the defense. If we finish out this transfer portal cycle and we don't get any more players of note, then absolutely I'll be furious. But I am absolutely of the camp that the money that would have been spent on Sam Leavitt, that should be spent on defensive depth. We've seen what it looked like to have a dynamic offense with no defense in 2022. Hell, we actually saw it a little bit this last year, right? If you can't stop the opposing team from scoring, it doesn't matter how many points that you score. All that matters is if you have the ball last, and you don't want that dictating and determining the outcome of the game. Couple that with, I know it sounds like a jaded lover, right? But Sam Leavitt's someone with a bum foot. He wouldn't be able to really start participating in trainings or training and conditioning until like May or June, just due to the injury rehab cycle. There's reports of kind of diva-like behavior. We've lived through this once, right? We had Nico. Not that Nico was even that big of a diva, but when we want a quarterback on campus, I think of the Joey Aguilar approach, where it's someone who's respected, who's a true team player, and who uplifts those around him. Imagine if you were a player in that locker room and you know that they spent $7 million on that guy. We saw what that was like with Nico, and that was just a fraction of the price. So while it sucks right now as a Tennessee fan, what I can say is there are worse things and there are worse outcomes. We do have to close this portal period strong and find that third piece for depth. Bo Prabula was on campus today. Went over him and his statistics in the last video. Former backup quarterback at Penn State, goes to Missouri, plays in, I don't want to say a similar offense, but one similar enough. Has a pretty decent year against average to below average competition, and then injures his leg, comes back from injury, and isn't quite the same, right? I think if we move forward with someone like Bo, or at this point we're going to go likely get a transfer from the FCS level, what Heupel was banking on is that this team is going to be like the 2024 Tennessee Volunteers. And what do I mean by that? It means we have such a staunch defense that our offense can just be okay. It can just score enough, and we're going to win games. And we need not forget, guys, who do we have on the roster right now? First and foremost, we have George McIntyre, right? Redshirt freshman, was third string, interchangeably second string quarterback behind Joey Aguilar for a year. 6'6", right? 190 pounds. Just a really strong arm, somewhat mobile, highly touted recruit out of high school. The biggest complaint people have with him at this moment is the guy is just very, very thin. He's incredibly skinny, and there's real concerns that he could get injured in the style of play of the SEC, and that's very true, right? But any player that we get in here, we even did it with Nico, we can train these guys up, we can put weight on them, we can develop that muscle, right? So let us not forget, we had a recruit that we went nose to nose with Alabama and Georgia for, in George McIntyre, who's sitting on our bench and been in this system for a full year. We've seen what Josh Heupel's done with quarterbacks. He's made Joe Milton work, Hendon Hooker work, Nico work, Joey Aguilar work. I do not think it's a stretch of the imagination that George McIntyre will be a competent quarterback in this system. And let us not forget, we have one of the most highly touted freshmen entering into this upcoming year in Faison Brandon. Faison, again, 6'3", a little bit shorter than George McIntyre, but by all accounts, one of the top, if not the top quarterback in the last recruiting cycle, out of North Carolina, committed to us after being courted for quite a while. And again, we went head to head with multiple schools, and we were able to secure that recruitment and that commitment. And Faison is someone that I think can enter into campus and make an immediate impact. Factor in that third quarterback, whether it's Bo Prabula, an FCS quarterback, we will have a true quarterback. This coming year. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, guys. We're building an elite, stout defense. We just need good enough quarterback play if the defense takes the jump that is expected to be successful. So again, just rounding this out, I know this outcome isn't what a lot of people wanted. Personally, I wanted Joey Aguilar to come back for another year. I don't think that's out of the question, but at this point, it's so far gone that, I don't think it necessarily matters. We'll see how that shakes out. But what I can tell you, and this could be me looking through my orange colored glasses, is Josh Heupel's that dude. He knows how to coach up a quarterback. If we can put weight on George McIntyre, that's who I want to be running out there next year, right? Or if Bo Prapula comes in or some other quarterback and they win that job outright, I have faith in them. But what we can't do is play in what ifs. Sam Leavitt's gone. Personally, I think good riddance. But we're going to see what happens over the course of the next few months. I don't think this portal's quite done yet. There may be a grand slam just under the water that we're unaware of at the moment. But again, we'll see how this shakes out, and let me know what you think. Please remember to drop some comments down below. Who do you want to be quarterback? Who would you like to see started next year? Are you pissed that Heupel didn't get Sam Leavitt? Do you think we should have went into another direction? Let me know. Thanks again for stopping in today. And remember, if you like this content, I can't ask enough. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Any and all support's greatly appreciated. And as always, go Vols!